Hi there, it's Mike from the Beaten Trail. Today's episode is the top 5 things that no one tells you when you buy a UTV or an ATV. So when you buy your ride, you should have a trailer, you should have your helmet, you should have everything that you need. You signed the financing papers, you paid in cash, whatever you did, and now you're on your way home. Well, first of all, you should have a trailer, whether it's open or enclosed. So we're not going to go over how you strap it down, how you secure it, any other items just to get it to your riding location. Number 5, the first thing that nobody tells you is that accessories are expensive. So whether you're going to get that really cool overhead roof bag, or you're going to get the secure lockbox that goes in the back, or maybe you want enclosures or windshield or a wiper that goes on there with a squirt bottle to get all the mud off the ride. You know that these things are expensive. So nobody tells you how much that costs. The big joke is the cost of the ride is only half of what you will spend over the life of owning that ride due to accessories, skid plate, rock sliders, everything else that you can possibly need are expensive.
The Beaten Trail is sponsored by Ride Royal Blue ATV Resort in Pioneer, Tennessee, where all of your Tennessee adventures begin. Lodging for any budget, bring your RV, or stay in a cabin. Trails are attached to the resort and not a far drive on ATV legal pavement, so stop down at Ride Royal Blue in Tennessee.
So number 4, all right, nobody tells you that the stock tires suck, okay? Now, unless you're buying a $40, $50, or $60,000 side-by-side, the stock tires may not be as good as you're expecting it to be. Now, where we ride in Pennsylvania, it's rocky. The rocks are sharp. Just last week, Shane and I were riding, and he had a rock go right through the center of his stock tires on his Can-Am ATV. Nobody tells you this. What can you do? There's 3 things that you really want to carry, and the first one is a tire plug kit. Okay, and along with that comes with everything you need to put a plug in it, and you should include having a compressor with you. That goes without saying. The second item for tires would be to have a sidewall slug, and we'll actually show you a picture of one of those. We carry one all the time, 30, 40 bucks, a great sidewall protection in case you get a pinch or a tear or a rock in the side. And last but not least, Gluetread. For $20, $30 to have Gluetread on hand, it really helps you with some of the not as serious sidewall damage. So that's it for number 4. The third thing that nobody tells you about is spare parts will help you make your day and your ride a lot better. So what do we mean? Of course, if you are not riding a Honda, you're going to need a spare belt. So make sure you have a spare belt and make sure you carry it with you. There's plenty of mounting options. Put it in the box, keep it handy, and know how to open your belt compartment and how to replace that belt in the field. That will pretty much make your day a lot easier. Now, in addition to that, you can bring a spare axle. Maybe you have different front and rear ones. You can bring those, not a problem. But we just want to say that having spare parts will make your time better on the trail. Nobody tells you that. All right, so number 2 would be to make sure that you pack adequate tools and supplies, but don't overpack. A lot of people don't tell you this. I mean, we've all been guilty of carrying every tool in the world to have every option. Make sure these tools are the sizes and the type, whether it's metric or standard, to make sure you have these items there. Now, you should have a toolbox in the back. You want to make sure that you have bungee cords or duct tape or tie wraps or whatever you may need, but don't go crazy. Think about, well, what could happen out there? Now, if you ride with a group, you never should ride alone. If you ride with a group, not everybody has to carry everything. You should have a jack. Some people may have to say, I want a spare tire. Now, if you want a spare tire, that's all fine and good. That goes back to our earlier discussion about tires not being great on a stock ride. Regardless, when you pack, just don't go crazy. You want to pack a snack bar, a first aid kit. You should have a fire extinguisher. These are things that we'll talk further down there, but make sure that you know where everything is. Nothing worse than having a box that you have to open and empty out on the trail just to find that one tire plug that's all the way down the bottom. Pack it properly. All right, the number 1 item really on this list is things will break and wear out. So you've owned your ride, you've done it for a year, maybe you had a patch, maybe you got a new tire. Things are going to wear out. Please plan accordingly that when you hear the tires start squealing in the brakes, it's probably time for brake pads. Regular maintenance is important. So you want to make sure that you're checking these things not the morning of the ride, but pick a day when you can be in the garage and check it. See, how are the bushings? How is your wheel bearings? How are your brakes? And there's an easy way to put it on a jack, put it on a lift, and start checking all these items. Now, your manufacturer's warranty only covers certain items. Even if you get an extended warranty, these items are consumables. Brake pads, any kind of bushing or kind of bearing that you may have. So keep that in mind. Those are the 5 items that you really need to know about, and nobody tells you that when you buy an ATV or a UTV. Now, of course, in an ATV, you'll be able to store less of these items, but pack what you need. And always carry a fire extinguisher and a first aid kit. Now, we say bring what you can. It's always important to have that. You never know what's going to happen. And we've spoken in earlier episodes about how to have a trauma first aid kit, okay? Maybe you spend $100 and you have something that comes with something more than just Band-Aids and gauze pads. You want to be able to have a way to stop bleeding in case someone has a traumatic cut in the arm or they have a limb that gets pinned. As always, you want to be wearing a helmet and gloves and have your seatbelt on and be safe, but things happen. You're out there to have fun, and sometimes there's an injury. Be prepared and make sure that you have proper communication. If you have cell phone coverage where you ride, that's great, but you always will not. So maybe a radio to have, or something where you can actually communicate with other people. And again, never ride alone, always ride with the group. So tell us, what are your 5 things that you believe that you should be carrying that no one else tells you about when you buy a UTV or side-by-side? Obviously, insurance, registration, having a copy of your paperwork on hand is always good for if you run into DCNR or any other authorities. If this list helps, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let us know in the comments what your top 5 list is that people never told you when you bought your UTV. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested, we have our new shirts available. My doctor said I need some trail therapy. We also have a couple designs, and you can get them with a side-by-side, or you can get them with an ATV or a dirt bike. So check out our YouTube store for more information. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you out there on the trail. Thanks.
Big thanks again to our sponsor, Ride Royal Blue. We appreciate them, as well as all of our partners, for being along for the ride. Be sure to get over to Lit Industries for the brightest rock lights you can find, and check out some of our hats and shirts over at our merchandise page. Thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you out there on the trail. Thanks.